Life of Brian came out well over 40 years ago, and who could have thought that one little comedy sketch in the entire show could have predicted the nonsensical, almost comical ideologies of modern day? Now, don't get me wrong, you're an adult. If you're an adult and you want to do whatever you want to yourself with other people, with consenting adults, be my guest, live your own life. But comedy is comedy, and don't tell people what they think is funny and what should and should not be kept alive as far as comedy goes. In this lovely article from Deadline, Monty Python star John Cleese says Life of Brian scene won't be cut despite modern sensitivities. That's such a dirty word there, modern sensitivities. The Monty Python crew always looked on the bright side of life when it came to classic film parody Life of Brian. But Monty Python star John Cleese insists he never said that he would remove a politically incorrect, another disgusting word that's been around for far too long, politically incorrect scene from the stage adaptation of Life of Brian, even though the film's 1979 sensibilities will not draw quite the laughs. Oh, you have no idea. Will not draw quite the laughs it once did, owing to the rise of trans issues awareness. There is nothing that takes away from trans awareness in this little skit. It's comedy. That's it. It's a joke. Cleese claims it was misreported that he was planning to cut the Loretta scene from the upcoming stage adaptation of the religious satire film. The entire film is satire. But this one little part hurts your fifi so much that it has to be cut. To hell with the rest of the film. We can make fun of everything else, but this one little thing, this one little protected aspect of our society, no. There should be no protected aspect, no protected group, ideology, demographic, whatever. You're not protected from comedy. That's it. We need to go back to those ways, start making fun of everyone else, taking the piss out of everything, and just live our lives and have a laugh every once in a while. You'd be better off for it. The scene in question features a male character declaring that he wants to be a woman named Loretta and wants to have a child. Cleese's character tells the man that the notion is ridiculous, which it is. I'm sorry. Adopt. This argument can be made, or has been made, that, oh, a man can lactate, a man can woman, a biological man. It's like, no, I'm sorry, but you're lacking the necessary body parts. Now, 10, 20, 30 years from now, or hell, even next year, if there's some sort of procedure that allows for that sort of surgery, that'll be a whole nother discussion. But as of right now, no, I'm sorry. That doesn't mean you can't live your life the way you want to live your life. Quote from the movie, I want to be a woman. It's my right as a man, the character claims. I want to have babies. It's every man's right to have babies if he wants them. After Cleese's protest, the character snaps, don't you oppress me. Now, the comical part in this whole thing is the notion that a man can do whatever he wants to no matter what. That is the comedy part. It's not making fun of any sort of trans issues. You cannot look at comedy from 20, 30, or 40 years ago with modern ideology. It's impossible. Because 40 years ago, they didn't know that we were going to be going through any of this. These notions were not around 40 years ago. This is a joke on the rights of a man being whatever. At least that's how I saw it. Obviously, times have changed the impact of that humor. Not really. It's still as funny now as it was then. Cleese reports. Cleese was reported to have asked American actors at a read-through, that was your first mistake. Western sensibilities, Western ideologies do not translate to the rest of the world. Most of them think we're a bit foolish. Read through whether the Loretta scene should be dropped. He was allegedly told that the joke was no longer a fit in these times. Grow a funny bone. Quote, so here you have something that's never been a complaint in 40 years. Absolutely true. That I've heard of. And now, all of a sudden, we can't do it because it'll offend people. Here's the thing about offending people. The world goes on. Life goes on. You're offended. So? There's nothing in the rule book that says you can't be offended. Nothing whatsoever. Well, at least in the United States so far. Some countries are trying to do otherwise. What is one supposed to make of that? Cleese said in a tweet that his comments were meant to relate what he was advised, not that he would actually do the cut. Quote, a few days ago, I spoke to an audience outside London. I told them I was adapting the life of Brian so that we could do it in a stage show, not a musical. That would be fantastic. I would love to see it. I said that we'd had a table reading in the latest draft in New York City. Hooked on Phonics worked for me a year ago, and that all the actors, several of them Tony winners, had advised me strongly to cut the Loretta scene. I have, of course, no intention of doing so. Now, this is something that studios and actors and directors and writers should make a note of. Stop cutting classic literature and entertainment to suit modern sensibilities. These things were written, much like The Little Mermaid, because that's all in the news right now. They edited songs and scenes, took things out, added things in, and it takes away from the message of the original work. You are ruining the original work by adapting it to modern sensibilities. These sensibilities were not around. These songs were made for a reason. These words were written for a reason. Either make something new or leave the work as it is. John Cleese is my hero, speaking out and not bending a knee towards this ideological bullshit. I think more and more actors and stars and writers and all these people should need to do the same. Stop bending the knee to people who don't want to view your product. All they want to do is find something to complain about online over and over again, which is kind of ironic considering what I'm doing all the time. Haha. Anyway, what do you think of John Cleese's statements? What do you think of the Loretta scene from Life of Brian? Have you even seen Life of Brian? If you haven't, I highly recommend it. It is fantastic even to this day. Let me know what you think in the comments. Leave a like, leave a dislike. Give me that lovely, juicy sub. Thank you, everyone, for making it this far. I'll see you on the next one.